Hey, welcome back. So today I'm gonna do something that I never do, and that is express to you a private and personal opinion that I have. And the reason I want to do this is because as a mom, I get infuriated by two specific questions and reactions regarding being a mom thing. It's none of people's business. And so I usually just smile and nod and let it go. But now I've had enough, and I'm gonna share with you, which is kind of, I understand the craziness of saying it's none of your business and then putting it on YouTube and sharing it with everyone. But hopefully I can express to you, to any of you, if you do this to other people, how rude it is, and then maybe prevent you from doing it in the future. I'm going to disable comments because I'm gonna tick a lot of you, probably the majority of you off, and I don't want to hear it. And I apologize in advance for my opinions, which I usually would never share with anyone ever, but this has left me no choice. I must share with you. Okay, so the first thing I get asked, I'm a mom of two girls. So I was blindsided when I became pregnant with a boy. And complete strangers, even when I was still pregnant, I knew it was a boy. They'd be like, oh, you know what, you're having a boy. Complete strangers would be like, are you circumcising him? Asking about my unborn son's penis. Family members, strangers, everybody. It's like apparently a really hot topic. Weirdness. So personally, my reaction is no. I'm not gonna cut a piece of his penis off. Like, why would I do that? Instantly. It's like, oh, that's really dirty. Even my own mother was like, he's gonna have a lot of problems when he gets older. My grandmother's like, oh, that's so dirty. Oh, you have to. Like, honestly, it was insane. Even after he was born and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. People are still like trying to pressure me into doing it. And my reaction to them is, why? Right? So it's like, why would I do that again? Well, it prevents infections. Okay, can I just say, first of all, I have two girls, okay? Girls have like way more flaps and cracks and crevices and way more cleaning issues than a boy ever have. And girls are like a million times more prone, adult girls, baby girls, all sort of girls, to get infections over boys. I would never consider removing my girls' like lips, I get phlebia, I don't know what it's called. You know those things that girls have? You would never consider cutting those off to prevent an infection. Since when is amputation a cure or a preventative measure for an infection that you may get? Bonkers. Yet it's completely justified in doing it to a baby boy. Okay, so first of all, that's weird. Second of all, when you actually do research, it took me like 2 seconds to look it up. There is no medical or scientific or any type of studies ever that prove that being circumcised actually prevents more infections. No research, nothing to base it on. So it's a rumor, it's a wives' tale, an old wives' tale, and people are surgically cutting off a piece of their child's baby's penises based on a rumor, which is also craziness. Okay, so add to that, it's like, well, even if you take those two things into account, people are like, well, everybody else is. Think for yourself, man. Think for yourself. If everyone else like jumped off a bridge, would you do it? You're like, no, because that's insane. There are tribes in Africa that remove girls' clitoris, because they don't want the girl like to cheat on their husband. So if they take away the pleasure of sex, they assume they're gonna stop doing that. And that to them is completely fine, right? Because they've been doing it forever and it's normal. And well, my mom did it, my mom's mom did it, and don't you just do that? No, you don't do that. It's kind of, I see circumcision as the same way, but I would never say that to you. You can say to me that my child is dirty and it's gross. And one lady actually said to me, is it about the money? And I'm like, honest to God, contain the rage, contain the rage. Obviously, you must feel very passionately about your reasons for surgically removing a piece of your baby. So you have your right to your reasons. They must, I'm going to assume it's not because you heard a rumor and because everybody else is doing it. You must have better reasons, and I'm sure you do. But I don't want to hear them, because I got my own reasons for not cutting a piece of my baby off. You know what? And this is the best part. I love this. I love those ladies who are like, oh my God, you pierced your daughter's ears. I'm gonna wait until my daughter can make that choice for herself. I wouldn't want to mutilate her body without her permission. Okay, seriously? You're going to give me a hard time about piercing my kid's ears, and you're completely fine. Like, they can close in, right? It's like a little nondescript hole that you don't even see if she decides not to have it. Your son's foreskin will never grow back. Okay, so there's my opinion. The majority of people circumcise. You probably have, so you're like, oh, where does she get off? Here's where I get off. Don't freaking give me a hard time about my choice. I won't give you a hard time about your choice. Penises should just, it should be like politics, religion, penises. It shouldn't be talked about. Come on, Mom. If you're a mom and there's someone pregnant and they're having a boy, they just had a baby boy, don't ask. None of your business what they do with their kids' junk. And I've actually had someone say, oh, when he gets older and he's in a locker room, you know, what if he gets made fun of? I hope to God and pray that he has the self-confidence to say, you're right, my parents didn't hack a piece of my junk off when I was a baby. How can you make fun of someone for that? Anyways, that's my opinion. Here's my second rant that I have. Yeah, again, gonna tick a whole lot of people off. I get asked constantly, are you breastfeeding? Are you breastfeeding? So here's the thing about breastfeeding. I am such an advocate for breastfeeding if you can. And with all 3 children I tried and did, and I had complications from day one. First of all, I had C-sections. So my milk didn't come in for like 7 days. And even with Milo, I was like pumping for like 3 weeks before he was born, hoping to bring it in. Because trying to play catch up after the fact, I have big babies, is so hard. But anyway, so I had to supplement right away because they were losing so much weight and they had jaundice and it was all these reasons. So right from the get-go, I had to supplement even though I didn't want to. I have seen lactation consultant after lactation consultant and tried every different thing and thing. I'm not gonna get into details about my boobs, but they're like Big Macs is how it was once described. So it just never was like a good latch, and then it was always like falling off latch, and it was just horrible, stressful, horrible experience. And I'm really freaking happy for you that you had no problem lactating and feeding your baby. Good for you. But I may not have such an easy time. And don't judge people. Like, good God, don't judge me. Yes, I pumped and I poured into bottles. And then eventually I switched just to straight formula. That does not make me a bad mom. You don't know my reasons why. Why do people feel like it's okay to give moms a hard time about their choices of what they choose to feed their babies? It's ridiculous. And there's a lot of like, go breastfeeding moms out there, and that's awesome. You love boobs. You think it's good. It is healthy and good, but not everyone can do it. And even if I could do it, and I chose not to, that's still not your business to give me a hard time about it. Honest to God, all the time. I feel like lying because we're out in public and people are like, oh, are you breastfeeding? Like a complete stranger. And I feel like I should just say yes so they shut the fuck up, because if I say no, they're gonna give me the fucking lecture. That shouldn't happen. Let's add that to the list of stuff you shouldn't talk about. Can't you ask something else? I know you might just try to make conversation. How about like, how's the weather? Or is he a good baby? Something that's not about my boobs or his junk. Please, for the love of God. The next time somebody asks me or makes some comment about my boobs and breastfeeding, I'm just gonna whip it out and slap them across the face with it. Feed them shots while they're on the ground. It infuriates me. So I have to share with you. So, if you're one of those moms who's like, your boobs work good, you're all like, yeah, don't throw it in other people's faces. Just don't even talk about, if you want to ask and they say, no, I'm doing formula, just half the time they're probably lying, because you make us feel so bad that we just lie about it. And the other time, don't give them a hard time. God, like, come on. Being a mom is hard enough, and you already feel inadequate if you have difficulty breastfeeding. Getting piled on by some at the grocery store is not gonna make it better. Thanks for that. Okay, so that's my rant. Boobs and penises should be off the table for stranger mom discussions, and even if your best friend in the whole wide world is having trouble, don't give her a hard time. And if your best friend chooses not to mutilate their son's junk, that's their right. And all your crazy old wives' tales isn't gonna change their minds, so you might as well keep them to yourself. Just thought I'd share. Anyways, I know, I'm not usually like this. I'm never like this. But a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. We'll see you next time.